that alongside there. Turn that one off, and that's good to go. We'll pick up some bales and see how many we get left over. I figure we've probably got more than a trailer load. I'll come at that one from the other side. So I did end up watching a YouTube video this week. Somebody did a yield comparison. Basically planted everything and then harvested. So working on the same field, he'd plant the field with wheat, harvest it, reset, plant the field with barley, harvest it, reset. I believe he averaged the pricing, but it turned out that, quite frankly, soybeans and sunflowers and canola are not your best yielding crops because they don't yield much, they just yield a good value. Wheat, barley, oats tends to yield a far more profitable crop, especially when you factor in the straw. And then something like cotton, sugar cane, sugar beet, and potatoes. So potatoes are the most profitable crop, but they do take a long time. And I did post my little science results from back when FS19 came out, where I found that you need about 10 times as much seed to plant a field of potatoes as you do a field of wheat. So if you factor that into the equation, potatoes ain't that good of a crop because of the cost. Okay, Andrew, have a good time. Have a good night even, and or whatever. Have a good day, and we'll be back next week. No, I'll be back on Monday since it's a US holiday. If you're around then. But yeah, so the advantage with potatoes is if you take a hit on your sale and keep some, you can use the potato crop that you just harvested to plant the next field. So there is a little bit of cost saving for planting involved there. I did that on Mercury Farm when I did a little playthrough on that, and I would harvest I started off buying a field with potatoes in, so okay, well I've got them, so I'll harvest them, and then I unloaded them into the storage shelter that I had, and as soon as the next field was ready, I planted some more potatoes, and then the excess potatoes I sold. And I carried on doing that for the whole of that playthrough, and we made quite a lot of money from potatoes because we weren't buying the seed, which is the most expensive part. Unload is probably that button there, but it's a laborious job. I ended up putting the potato harvester on a worker and just cutting the potatoes as his harvester got full. While I was, harvesting other fields. But interesting results. Barley, I think it was barley yields very, very, very slightly more, like a couple of percent more than wheat, but isn't worth as much. So wheat is, I think from wheat, oats and barley, wheat was the winner, because it's generally it's worth more than barley, and oats don't yield as much crop as wheat does. But yeah, taking into, if you start factoring in things like great demands, which can boost the value of the crop, if you time it to the right point in the year for sale, you can mitigate some of those. But the other crop that is very valuable is sugar beets, and we have a ton of that in the ground. So we should make up a good profit from the harvest this year. Okay, this should be all of our bales. Make a quick run down the bottom and make sure we got everything. Yeah. Okay, so what we got here? 6. So about 8 in total. Nice. What do we need to do next? Well, I may haul the straw back. We'll give the collector a quick wash, and I'll go find the cultivator and get this tractor back out in the fields doing some cultivation while we haul everybody else home. Grab, pick that one there, one over there. Okay, press the right button to turn that thing off. Good start. So, time for a group photo. Whee! Let's turn that engine off. And group photo, thank you. Let's go take the Challenger back to the yard. Cereal harvest for the year is done. Where is the cultivator? I think the cultivator's in the top yard. It's our crop of sunflowers, which I'm thinking we should be able to harvest from tomorrow. So we've got a little time to go for that. Should also check the grass fields as we come by. If I open that gate. That was a little bit easier. I could probably leave that gate open since we don't have any cows wandering around. So, unload that. Probably do with another pressure washer if I'm thinking more about it. Unload, done. Because while it's useful having the pressure washer up the front here, when I'm coming in with loaded equipment like the bale lifter and the tipper, I'm not really in the right place. I don't really need to clean the tractor. Tractor's going straight back out to get more dirty, so there we go. Okay, so that's all nice and clean, and now I have to reverse it into the yard and all the fun and games that involves. Okay, so we're done with this for the season. If we do get any grass cutting, I very much doubt we'll make hay out of it. Well, we still have those bales to take, but not right now. What's in? Okay, that shed's full. I thought it was. I didn't check that top field. Okay, we're good. Go, and drop that there. We need a shed to put all that in. So what are we got in here? We've got the spreader, we've got both the seeders. Okay. Cultivator's in the top yard, let's go fetch that. And I'll probably take those bales down to the BGA. I'll use the Axion for that, possibly. Okay, that's the plough, that's the cultivator, that's all mowing stuff, so... And that was a complete mess. Let's get in. Get in, look over my shoulder, that'll work. Connect. Thank you. Okay, we're good. Let's drag this up to the top field and get some of that cultivating achievement done. So I'll I'll start off with the field that everybody's in. Yeah, and welcome to the stream, Captain Darkman. Yeah, when I did my planting, I didn't include sugar beets and I didn't do potatoes from potatoes, because I would have had to harvest some potatoes in order to get some potatoes to try that. I did everything, I did all seeding where you're using seed bought from the store. Canola, I did find, was incredibly efficient in seed use. For the field I did, oilseed radish was about 450 litres of seed, and canola was about 900. And then everything else was more than that. Wheat, barley, and oats, and the white fluffy stuff, cotton, were about 1700. So about twice as much seed planting a cotton field or a wheat field as you would use to plant a canola field. So if you're a cash-strapped farmer who has no money because you've just bought all of your fields and all of your equipment, and that's as far as you've got, your best bet is to plant canola for your first year. It may not yield the best profit, but it will cost you the least to put in the ground. Once it's in the ground, of course, you can harvest it. That'll give you seed money for the following planting. Pun intended. But soybeans really isn't the best crop like it was in 17, where it used the least seed, it yielded the most efficient result. Then again, that all said, if you're playing solo, then sugar beets and potatoes are incredibly labor intensive. You're either going to make heavy use of workers, or you're going to be stopping and starting every few minutes as you fill up the potato harvester or sugar beet harvester, unless you can figure a way of dumping it to the side of the field and then carting all of it later. And that's not always ideal either. Okay, let's see if I can get that approximately lined up there. And I will set that off on a worker, which still counts for achievements. So that's a good thing. Okay, that's doing its thing. Oops. Since the harvester's at the front. We'll jump out and drive that back first. Okay, bounce it across the field at 20 miles an hour. But as far as yields was concerned, I just really couldn't be bothered. I've for long been of the opinion that a high value crop yields low, and so it's kind of mostly a wash. It actually isn't. It's also partly to do with the labour you put in. So if you've got soybeans, doesn't take a lot of labour because you can harvest half a field before you have to empty it and truck one load in your tipper. By comparison, you may be unloading a harvester three and a half times if you harvest wheat, and so your tipper is going to be full and then have to run off, unload and come back again. So that I count against your labour time. You can leave a tipper parked at the edge of the field. Am I going to bother cleaning that? No, I'm going to put this down at the end of the field. Now, cultivator's just got back. So I'll probably park that next to the barn on the right there. Header's going to go back in storage into the middle of a field because I don't have the sheds for it yet. But we will be using the harvester for the sunflowers. So this can go here. Okay, that's a good place for it. And we're going to have to beam up to the top of the field. Yeah, you seem to have a problem. I think. Okay, how's about I move this tractor out the way? Or are you worried about the little Lindner? Oh, yeah. He was worried about this one, so we'll move this into... Actually, I'll probably move all of them over into this field. I'll make that job a lot easier. He's now complaining about the baler, so we'll shift that. And then he's going to complain about the bale trailer. Oh, helper E is blocked by an object. Of course he is. Okay, we'll park that there. And go find the Lindner. Hello. There you are. Okay, we'll lift the bale up a little bit more because this is not a smooth exit. Then try it. Oh yeah, we have to be careful with the bale because bales don't pass through hedges. And there is a fence there. Okay. Let's go move this guy. Okay, I can turn that one off. I think that one's off. We'll take this one back first. Since it's what we've got. Still something in that hedge. Okay. Gonna have to lift the bale way up high so it'll clear the other hedge. There we go. We're in. Now we can put the bale in a slightly better centre of gravity position and take that down to the sheeps. Because they'd probably be hungry. I mean, technically this is a fresh bale of hay, so it should go in with the fresh hay. I should be feeding the sheep the older hay. But that's not going to happen because we have to drive past the sheep anyway, so make the most of the visit. Okay, take it easy down the hill. I was going to check. That field on the right doesn't look like it's grown. I'm thinking our two main grass fields will probably be ready to cut in mid-fall. Okay, I need to disconnect that. Okay, this is a private farm road, so I don't mind too much blocking it with the trailer there. Obviously, public roads, that would be a bad thing to do. Okay, that's done. Lift the arms off the ground and then it will maneuver a little bit better. Jump the gate. Oops. Not what I had in mind. Fill up the water tank, climb in the tractor, or water trough. Too many trees. Well, it's the middle of summer. Actually, it's kind of towards the end of summer, but trees and summer happen. Okay, I am completely done with that header. Yeah, because I picked to plant sunflowers rather than canola for a change. According to whoever's YouTube video I watched this week, sunflowers not as good as canola. They don't yield as much money.